Hello, it's Dr. Leo Kormanik with Running Rehab. So basically for this exercise, it's going to be for like more low back pain, some discomfort that you might get when you're running or throughout the day working and stuff. But basically in the yoga world, this would be considered like a cobra. But again, in the rehab world, we just want you to do just straight press ups with your arms. So it's not going to involve any low back muscle activation. So basically the exercise is this. So you're going to do 100% arms, no low back extension like that. So you're just going to press up totally with your arms, all right? And then you're going to feel a little bit of pressure in the back, hold it for a second, and then just relax down. I usually advise people to do this frequently throughout the day if they have like stiff low backs and just kind of chronic stuff through there. In reps of 10 in about five sets throughout the day. The value of this exercise, it's a simple exercise, which I love things that are simple. But the value of this exercise is, so this is our spine. So when we're running, we want good, healthy mechanics like this. So we want our spines to sort of act like a spring, absorb a little force and recoil, absorb a little force and recoil. But a lot of times, just from general nature of working a lot, having chronic back issues, sitting, whatever, a lot of these joints in the back side of the spine, called the facet joints, can develop stiffness. And if they're stiff, then that means when you're running, they don't absorb shock, right? So then the pounding then goes more into the muscles or the disc on the front part of the spine. And that's obviously an issue. So when you're laying on your stomach and you're pressing up, what you're doing is you're mobilizing the facet joints in the posterior part of the spine or the back side of the spine. So a simple passive press up will do that. So that way when you go run, and you land, you get that passive flexion and extension in the facet joints and completely save the disc. Now, the other reason why this is important, because you might be asking, well, maybe I had a disc issue in the past, or you have degenerative discs, or maybe you're a little bit more acute and you're concerned about the quality of the disc. The interesting thing about this motion too is that the disc, which is in between each vertebra, this little cartilaginous section here, that gets no blood flow. So the only way it gets nutrients is by pumping motion. So if you pump waste out and relax, nutrients come in, pump waste out, nutrients come in. So that pumping motion basically helps to rehydrate the disc anyways. So one, it helps mobilize the facet joints so that when you land, you get good flexion extension in the proper portion of the spine. And two, it also basically helps to improve the quality and the hydration of the disc. All right, so again, it's super easy. When you do it, I'm not terribly obsessed with what your hips are doing. I just think you should just push up to whatever you can push up in. Some people's hips will come up a little bit because they have bad extension of their spine, but eventually you'll work to a point where you can fully extend through the back and keep your hips on the table. But don't be super obsessed with what your hips are doing. Just get the reps in. So again, all the way up, hold it for a second, and down, and just kind of do like sets of 10 of that. So that should be good. If you did that daily, usually I like to do it before runs to help really warm things up, get the hip flexors a smidge loose. Neurologically, it helps basically get better glute activation. You don't feel as much pressure in your spine when you first start running, and you might feel a little bit more pop in your step. So I'll do this even before I do any other like hip openers or any other activation drills before my run.